He leant forward, placed his hand on my knee and whispered, "Is it getting too late for you, Casey?" I thought, who is this man? And who am I going to be working for? It had been a long 6 hours. I want to give you the message that I want you to take away from this video now. Because I genuinely believe that my sister prevented something horrible that potentially could have happened to me, or possibly saved my life.
Please, if you arrange to meet anybody that you don't know, whether that's a date or even an interview, and you don't know them and you don't know where you're going, at least let one person know where you're going and the details, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe you can bring someone with you, somewhere near the area maybe that you've got your interview at, for example.
I was lucky, but unfortunately, there are others who are not. There is an estimated of over 100,000 victims for human trafficking a year in the UK alone.
Okay, so let's bring this back to the beginning from where it all started off.
Yep.
Casey applied for a new job. And it was on one of those job websites like Indeed or something like that, wasn't it?
That's
and
right.
she was so excited.
I was.
Weren't you?
I was.
But you didn't have long to prepare.
No.
So I had to help her prepare. It was on the Wednesday, and the job interview, I believe, was in Kensington in London.
Yes. And it was for a personal assistant role.
Yes, which was perfect for you, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Kensington in London's quite a nice area, isn't it?
Yeah.
The only thing that kind of made me a little bit suspicious on something was the fact that they asked you for a photograph of yourself.
They did.
Now I know, it's just a photograph, like I think it was like a headshot, wasn't it?
It was a passport photo that I gave them.
Yeah, I remember taking the picture, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like a passport photo.
Like from
size
here
thing.
up.
Yeah.
And I know they do that in like auditions and castings and things
Yeah.
like that, but it just, something about it just seemed a little bit off. For a personal assistant position, why are they asking for a picture?
Yeah.
And you knew I was coming with you, right?
Of course. I am so excited. It's Wednesday. I'm raring to go for this interview. The position is perfect for me, and I have prepared my ass off.
We did the whole interview practice one-on-one sessions, didn't we?
We sure did.
I was firing those questions at you, and you were batting those answers straight back at me. Brilliant. I would have hired you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
So here we are at Kensington, trying to find the place for my interview. Now we are walking up and down this street, trying to find a building that just was not there.
No. We knew that it was supposed to be there. We knew it was on the right street, didn't we?
We did.
But it was like the building just wasn't where it was supposed to be. Instead, there were these massive, beautiful houses.
Yeah. They were stunning. To be honest with you, we kind of felt a little out of place walking up and down on this street. There was no one really around, and no one to help us or anything.
There wasn't, was there?
So I bit the bullet and I called my contact that I had. A polite man answered the phone and told me we were in the right place. But it was the house with the scaffolding on.
Yes, it was.
So we casually went over to this house with the scaffolding on. It was huge. You stayed on my pavement.
I stayed back because I didn't think it was right. She's going for an interview. Her twin sister's going to show up just like that, right?
Yeah.
No, I stayed back. But I think if there was cameras, I think they could probably see me on the camera anyway.
I think so.
But I did stay back on the pavement. I was just waiting for you to just go in and have your interview, you know?
So I rang the bell and there was no answer, and I was standing there for a good 5 minutes.
Just like nothing. And I was looking up at the curtains to see if I could see anybody peer through the window. Not a single bit of movement.
No. Okay, so no one answered the door, which felt like forever. and we were standing there like lemons. But my phone rang, and oh, behold, it was the polite man again.
Yeah, there was something about the house though. It was really eerie. Like, the street was just so quiet and no one was around. I straight away was so suspicious. Like, who turns up to an interview
At a house.
at a house with scaffolding on? No one answers the door whatsoever. There's like no movement at all. I actually think maybe they saw that you was with somebody on camera.
Maybe.
And they didn't like it. I don't know. All of a sudden your phone's ringing and it's the same guy. But it gets weirder.
Yeah. Now, the man over the phone asked me if it was okay for me to wait an hour because they were running a bit behind.
I mean, come on, where's the freaking goddamn waiting room? Where's the professionalism in that?
Well, obviously I felt a bit strange about the situation, but come on, I was excited about the position. It was, in my eyes, it was for a dream role, dream job that I wanted, personal assistant. I was so excited, and I wanted my damn interview that I'd spent 3 days prepping for.
Yeah. We went and got coffee.
Yeah.
And cake.
Of course.
It was about an hour later, she got the call.
Hi, Casey. Is it okay if we meet somewhere else? I'm running a bit late and I've got some errands to run. So, it's now 5 p.m. and we are making our way to the new location.
Guess where? A hotel.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it was in the bar/restaurant of the hotel. Not like in a hotel room or anything like that. I'm just going to stress that. We went in, there was no one in there but one guy, and he was the server behind the bar. He seemed quite polite and professional, and we just said, like, is it okay if we come in here and we wait? We're waiting for somebody for an interview. He's told us to come to this location, and do you mind if we sit down at a table? And he was absolutely fine. He said, make yourselves at home.
Yeah.
And we sat down and we waited.
Yeah. Half an hour later, a man walks in through the doors and immediately walks straight towards us. I knew straight away he was the man I was there to see. In one hand, he had a folder filled with paperwork, and clutched in the other hand was a briefcase. Well, he introduced himself, we shook hands, he guided me over to the table, into the corner, and I felt kind of intimidated, I'm not gonna lie. I just couldn't wait to get this interview over with. I felt anxious and nervous and, to be honest with you, a little excited. Now, I was expecting, the usual shibuki spiel of those questions that you get asked in interviews, but we didn't start there.
All the ones we practiced.
Yeah, no. Straight away, he told me that I wouldn't have much time to myself. I'd be working full-time and possibly weekends.
That's like most jobs, right?
Yeah. But he said, does this sound like something you could commit to? And I said, well, who would I be working for? And he said, I can't tell you that right now, but I can tell you that you will be working for somebody very, very, very important and very rather wealthy.
I wonder who it could be.
What does it even mean? Am I working for a celebrity? Well, immediately I got so freaking excited. I was like, who the hell am I working for? Personal assistant to, I don't know, a footballer. Or I could be working for a famous singer, like Adele or someone, something really exciting.
Yeah, this guy looked at me like he looked straight through me. Seriously, wow. If I only had invisibility powers. Seriously, it was like he just looked straight through me. We are identical twins, so he did do that usual, the head turn, they sort of double look thing that they do, where they realise.
Yeah.
And I actually think that if you hadn't have got up to shake his hand, it might have been a little bit more awkward. Yeah. I don't think the guy was very happy I was there, if I'm honest. but I did finally relax. Once you sat down, I did relax. Although what I found was really odd, out of all of the spaces in the room, he chose, I'm not kidding, he chose the darkest spot in the room to sit down.
At the back.
Right at the back. And I couldn't hear anything, and I wish I was a fly on the wall. But I could see what was going on. You looked calm and relaxed, even though it was, you know, your interview, and I was like, she's gonna nail these questions.
Yeah.
Him, on the other hand, he looked really shifty, and he was constantly fidgeting all the time.
Yeah.
And if he wasn't fidgeting with his hands, he was fidgeting with his briefcase. If he wasn't doing that, he was messing around with paperwork.
Yeah.
You know, there was just something not right about him. You know, I don't know, I just did not like him whatsoever. Something just was not right. And my eyes were on you all the time.
Even though this was supposed to be an interview and he was suited and booted and looked the part to interview me, it seemed like he wasn't interested in anything I had to say. He was doing all the talking, he wasn't interested in any of my questions, and he was feeding me information, but without actually giving me a full insight on the position, without giving me actual information about what I really did need to know.
Yeah, I hate people that do that. It's like it's like politicians, isn't it? When they're asked a question and they just don't answer the damn question, you know?
Yeah. He was very fidgety, like you said, and he just didn't seem very engaged in the conversation that we were having. It seemed like his focus was always somewhere else, even though he was constantly talking to me. That kind of went over my head, because to me it was irrelevant information. It was like he was like no one was there.
No one was home.
Yeah. In the middle of the conversation, he randomly said, "Thank you so much, Casey, for sending in that photo. It was really helpful and you are very liked."
So dodgy.
So strange. But then as he said that, his phone rang. And he had to step away for a few moments. Next minute I know, he's saying he has to dash off, he won't be long, and that we will be looked after by the server behind the bar, and we could have anything we wanted. Food, drinks, help ourselves, relax for a little while, and he just needed to go and do something, and he'll be back shortly.
I remember him leaving and straight away asking you, how was it? And I just thought, we can go home, it's all done, and, you know, we'll just see what happens. But no. Crazily weird, even more, the guy's gone off. I was so shocked that you told me that he'd gone, but I did like the fact that we could help ourselves to anything at the bar.
We could.
I remember asking the server, I thought it would be a good idea to ask the server if he knew the guy, because why is the guy telling us that we can have anything we want?
Yeah.
Did he have a tab? Was he there on a regular basis?
Yeah.
And the guy said yes, he knew him and that he was a regular, which was a bit odd. So I suggested that we phone somebody. So we phoned someone just to let them know and the ETA on what was going on. We were ages.
We were speaking to a few people.
Yeah, we had family members.
We'd spoken to a few people.
One of them of which said, just come home.
Yeah.
Just come home.
Yeah.
Because going from the house to the hotel.
Yeah.
And now we're waiting again. And it had been a good few hours so far.
It had been.
Yeah.
I kid you not. It is now dark outside and it is 8:30 p.m.
Yep, it was getting late.
Well, we wouldn't have stayed so long, but we kind of felt at ease because the server guy spoke to us, made us feel welcome. Time flew by, and he told us that the man was an important person there. So we kind of felt ease that somebody else knew of him.
Yeah.
You know? Well, he finally showed up, didn't he?
Sure did.
We went back to the table, the same spot, and he could see that I was very agitated.
I'm not surprised, we've been waiting ages.
Well, I said to him, I didn't expect you to be so long. And he leant forward, placed his hand on my knee and said, "Is it getting too late for you, Casey?" Well, I was so taken back, I pushed back on my chair and I kind of mumbled to myself. I don't even know what came out of my mouth, but I was so uncomfortable. It was just so strange. This man putting his hand on my knee, and he sat up straight, looked kind of smug in the face, which creeped me out even more, and said, well, Casey, I told you you'll have to have loads of dedication, even at these kind of hours. What does that even mean?
Although I was constantly watching you to make sure you was okay all the time, I didn't actually know about the interaction that you'd had then.
Yeah.
I only looked over just after it because you pushed your chair back and it made so much noise that I looked over to you.
Yeah.
And I could see where something was not right. And you were so uncomfortable. And I thought, well, maybe the interview's coming to an end. Maybe he's asking us some tough questions or something like that, you know? Yeah. And I remember the server coming over to me, right? For the first time, the server comes over to me and starts making small talk. And he's going to me, what was it he said? He was asking me where I was from, if I was okay and comfortable, if I wanted anything to eat or anything like that. And then the next minute, I looked over at you, and you were gone. Nowhere to be seen. Like, just like that. I literally just started talking to this dude, and I turned, and you are gone, and I am freaking out inside my head. And she wouldn't have gone off on her own, surely. And I practically screamed in his face, where's my sister? 1 minute you were there, next minute you were gone. And there's me rushing around, like crossing over, practically pushed this dude out of the way. I've looked everywhere in the restaurant, nowhere to be seen. And I thought, no, she's not going to go anywhere without telling me, right? Oh, shit. Doors. So I go to the front of the doors of the hotel. I think, no, she wouldn't have gone. And I go out of the doors.
He stood up and said to me that he wanted to show me where I'd be spending most of my days, and that I was ready to meet my boss. Who says that? To be honest with you, I was really creeped out. I was a little scared, but I slowly got up and I saw you and I felt more at ease.
Yeah.
So I kind of relaxed a little bit knowing you were still in the room.
Yeah, imagine if I wasn't there.
I know, so creepy. And I straight out said, to be honest with you, I don't think I'm right for this position. And I didn't apologise or anything. I just basically said, the position's great for me, but I wouldn't be able to dedicate that much time to a position like this. I was waiting for some sort of quirky comeback, but he had a smirk on his face. He was quiet for a couple of seconds and then just said, okay, Casey, it's nice to meet you.
It was like he'd accepted what you'd said.
Yeah, it was so strange. And we both casually started walking to like say our goodbyes. And before I knew it, I was outside with him in front of his car.
Yeah. But I didn't even notice you going past me.
No.
Or anything. Did you go in a different direction?
No, I walked past you. The bar guy was talking to you.
Yeah.
We went round the tables. I think you were just so distracted.
Yeah, out of all of the times to be distracted, it was that time that I was distracted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I freaked right out.
When I'm outside the front of the bar, restaurant, hotel, and he's grabbed my arm, gripped it really tightly and said, would you like to come with me? He'd opened the door and was kind of shushing me into the car. The next minute I know, Tanya is grabbing me and yanking me backwards. It just happened so freaking quickly.
Yeah.
So quickly. Let's make this clear, okay? I had no intentions of going anywhere with this man.
No.
I knew he was a bad seed. I knew something wasn't right.
Yeah.
I'm not stupid. I have my head screwed on, and there was alarm bells throughout the different situation.
The fact that his car was parked right outside.
Yeah.
You know, is with the door, like, you know, to get you into the car is just not right.
Clearly planned.
So from what I could see, from my point of view, when I came outside, all I saw was this guy holding on to you, practically putting you in his car. So adrenaline and everything. And where I was so shocked, I didn't have time to even think anything of it. I just came straight to you and grabbed you. And the funny thing is, he didn't even really say anything.
No.
He just sort of shut the door, walked round and got into the car and drove off. Just like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I'd been just a few seconds too late, he might have been driving off with you in that car.
Yeah, possibly.
And
not willingly.
Yeah.
May I add?
Yeah. I think he was dangerous. I think the whole situation from start to end was not right from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think had you been on your own, I dread to think. I feel like even the guy in the hotel was not right.
Yeah.
Everything from beginning to end, like being at the house, going to the hotel, the waiting around, and I don't know whether they were waiting for me to leave, whether I was going to leave you or not. That was never going to happen. I actually think that the server guy was definitely something to do with it, because he said he knew the guy.
Yeah. Set up.
And because I feel like he was informing him on things, like what we were doing, and whether we looked comfortable waiting and stuff like that for the length of time that it was.
Yeah.
I definitely think that he was part of something with the guy.
Yeah.
And he was informing him with things.
Yeah.
He was for sure distracting me when you thought you were saying your goodbyes. He was for sure distracting me, because I did not see you go past me whatsoever.
No.
I
never had any follow-up emails. I never heard from the guy again. That was it.
No.
Which makes me feel like there was something not right.
Yeah.
I genuinely feel if Tanya wasn't with me, I would be gone. You'd never be seeing me again.
Yeah.
I'd be gone.
Yeah.
Honestly. Even though technically he didn't do anything physically wrong, apart from a few touchy and making me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There's like no main proof of actual harm.
No, and we don't want to be in that situation either.
No.
But you just don't know.
No. But what I can say is I genuinely believe that my twin saved my life.
Yeah. It's good to be a twin, isn't it?
Well, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Check out our other channels on Instagram and TikTok, and we will see you next time. Ciao for now.